go. My favorite time to record, just because everybody's still sleeping. The people that are awake at this time are the ones that you probably have to worry the least about as far as bringing nonsense into your life. The more nonsense you create as an individual, I feel like the later you sleep. So as long as I get in by noontime, I'm usually pretty happy. Just got off the phone with my sister. Texting. We were texting each other. It was her birthday. We were on the subject of Ronnie James Dio, who's a pretty nice guy, actually. I get a lot of mileage out of this image on my social media accounts. Yeah, usually I've found that when it comes to music, like the big legendary figures are the ones that are the coolest. The sort of B and C list tier guys are the ones that are always a lot more thorny. And I think it's because they're kind of, a lot of them must feel like they're trapped in the business, you know, never really making that hitting the point where they can kind of do what they want. You know, guys like Ozzy or Alice Cooper that were sort of seem to be above all that, like they've gotten to the point where they're not beholden to too much, or at least in relation to how things are in the music business, which is, you know, really crazy. But talking to her, I don't have any, dear, sorry. Talking to people back home is always a strange thing, but with my sister it's easy. This is one of my sisters. She's my middle sister, and because of her age, I'm probably closer to her than, you know, anyone in the family, because we'd hang out a lot. We'd have the same friend group in high school and outside of high school. We liked the same music, heavy metal. And then we also like a lot of the same post-punk bands, the Pixies. We both like Peter Gabriel. We have a lot of music in common. I think it's that having a commonality in music sometimes is really all you need, because it opens the door to other things. With having a relationship with someone, having a friendship with someone. So, yeah, despite, you know, well, not despite, but also being a family member, she's someone I would probably still talk to anyway, no matter what. Yeah, in my conversations with people from back home, her included, and I know I always say, don't reveal your power level. As a, you know, as a figure of speech, you kind of want to keep things normal as you can. Because otherwise it's going to hurt you. At the very least, people will worry about you. You know, think something's wrong with you. But when with certain people, certain friends, and she's one of them, I kind of go against my rules, and I always got to try to say something or do something, or, you know, I think I'm trying to break through, but I'm probably just looking insane. And that's a good thing too. Like, people that know me from back home, whether it's band members or friends or family or something, if I say something odd, they always they can always play the, well, he's fucking crazy anyway card, you know, because, so I hope that comforts some of them if they are disturbed by some stuff I've said. I don't know why they would be, but, so, yeah, it always starts off with the mundane, like, yeah, how are you? How are things? And then something will come up to trigger me, or to trigger that response in my mind. In this case, it was her birthday. And I don't know if how she's dealing with it. I think with women it's different. With guys, it's like, once you reach a certain point, you don't think about it, you don't care. I mean, I have to do math to figure out how old I am. Like, that kind of started in my 40s, I kind of forgot. I gave up on worrying about how old I was. It really is just a number. No, it's cliche to say, but it's true. Like, you don't fundamentally change when the clock turns over in one way or another, or any way, It's all state of mind. So I was, I told her, so yeah, your body is only that age. You're actually much older. Which I think, which I don't know if that's comforting enough, but I always like to try to illustrate the point that these bodies are just like a car. It's like a vehicle that you're using to interact with this 3D space, because you, as what you really are, wouldn't be able to otherwise. You just feel like floating around here. You'd be like a ghost, really. Same problem the forgotten ones have, the Nephilim, the demons. They need to jump in bodies to annoy me. People are very much the same way. They, or whatever, you want to call people. We're incorporeal, so we need these vehicles. I sometimes call them antennas, because what you're doing is it's really picking up a frequency, the frequency of you, like a radio station. Everything is frequency. The beings, the people you see, what comes out of them, language or sound, it's all frequency in the snow globe. That's it. There's nothing really solid here. Even normie scientists that talk about matter, and the makeup of matter is 6 neutrons, 6 protons, and 6 electrons. Get it? They're so lame the way they do all their stuff, It's like, yeah, we get it. But even they have to admit that matter is of any kind 99.999% empty. There's nothing there. The reason you have to have that little bit of it is so they can quantify it at all and try to measure it at all. So basically, if you were to see things as it really was, it would just be empty. I don't know, maybe something that would look like a TV when they used to go off, when the broadcast used to end, maybe just snow. I don't know what it would look like. There wouldn't be much here. And the biggest part of us, our main body, our main, whatever, our main being, isn't from here. We're just here to learn, like a test. Well, it was a test area. It was a learning area. It's been, I believe, and this is just me, that it's been hijacked and has become the farm that we talk about a lot. And rally rail against rally rail. Hot Wheels rally rail. So it's it's with all that in your mind. Sometimes it's kind of hard to talk to people that aren't of the same understanding. It happens with neighbors, not just people from back there. Like there are neighbors in my neighborhood that I've never approached the subject with any of this stuff. I do my best to try to think like normal people do, but I can only do it so long. Yeah, it was good to hear from her. I like talking to her. She kind of fills me in with what's going on. I occasionally talk to other members of my family. I talk to my dad occasionally. That's always weird. But I have done some things. I got him into some things, like looking at the Black Tom Island thing, which Black Tom Island, the first terrorist attack on American soil, happened before the World War I, and is like the main reason why we went into World War I. They attacked a munitions depot in Jersey City, which blew out every window in downtown Manhattan and just really severely damaged the Statue of Liberty. And that is indeed why the torch is no longer open for people to go in to this day. Now, this is all new to me. Like, it's a Mandela effect. And it was just a way of floating to see if he was, what kind of situation he was in if he was indeed affected by it or not. And he is, because he's like, I don't know anything about this. In his mind, he's thinking, the government hid it from us. Not that reality is malleable, which is really what the situation is. But, so I'll do stuff like that. I have to. I can't help it. I don't know why. I shouldn't, because it just upsets people. You're either naturally brought into this world, these kind of understandings, or you're not. And although the temptation is there, to try to tell people about it, and I do, I think it's better to just discuss these things with other like-minded people that understand. Like a lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to do much backwards describing the story or a concept. I usually just say, this, and we can go and talk about it. But I think that's more healthy for us, our sanity, than trying to break through. Ultimately, people are gonna have to come to it on their own. It doesn't mean anything until you yourself experience it and it clicks in your head in some way. And for a lot of people, it's not going to. It never will. They're not the kind of receivers or antennas that are able to do that. They're a differently built antenna. Da Vinci quote. Speaking of getting mileage out of the Dio picture, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that Da Vinci quote. I don't know what I'd do without that Da Vinci quote. God, that fucking really ties this room together. A lot of people out here for not even 7 a.m. What is it, Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday, 7 a.m. It's because it's getting summertime. It's getting brighter out. When it's brighter out, more people come out. It's getting warm too already. Yeah. Well, summer's here. We had such a great winter though, it's hard to complain. It was cool almost every night. It was just comfortable for sleeping, with the complex system of fans, series of fans I have up in my house, positioned in a way as to try to create our own Gulf Stream and to pull and to pull air in at the bottom of the door, which would be cooler theoretically, and blow air out at the top closer to the ceiling, which should be warmer. Of course, how much warmer or cooler, who the fuck knows? It's, you don't know this shit. But I do it anyway. It's a placebo. I guess it makes me feel better in that way. I think I'm doing something. That could be said about my entire life, I think. I think I'm doing something. Till next time, don't blame the teacher. Always blame the school. Coming out of the Royal Hawaiian onto Kalakaua, nice and empty at 6 a.m.